game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
I'm coming. I promise you, on my life, I'm coming. From the first snap, man. From the first second. What are we gonna do, man? All back against the wall. All back is against the wall. Dark slide on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dark slide.
Welcome. Bro, we 100% getting to that point where I cannot watch Nightcap for too long, bro. I just think Shannon Sharp be saying a lot of stupid shit on that show. And I don't got no personal vendetta against Shannon Sharp. I know I be talking about him I done talked about him a couple times the last couple episodes, but bro, I'm almost at the point where 50% of the shit he say is stupid and the other 50% is well, thought out. Because some of the shit that I be hearing him say, and you know what else I think? I'm starting to believe the only reason that he is as big as he is because the LeBron James dick sucking. And because we know how big the LeBron James stan community is, bro. I think it's very weird that I watched a show, I think it was last night. And out of nowhere, they started talking about Jordan. Now, I knew that I was going to turn this episode off around that point. Because every time he talk about LeBron, he started talking about other players who do that shit that Nick Wright do. He like to discredit everybody else to try to up Jordan. And I got no problem with people doing that. You gonna like who you like. You gonna use whatever you can to uplift your player. But it's the shit that he used to try to discredit Jordan that pissed me off. And it was something that I say only stupid people or LeBron stans think that this is an intelligent thought. And I hate it when he got Ocho or Gilbert Arenas on the show. Because for one, Gilbert do not be fighting back. Plus, I don't agree with Gilbert's thoughts on that situation. But Chad Ochocinco always say, I don't even know basketball. So, of course, he just going to sit on there and agree with Shannon. But last night, they was talking about, I guess, Jerry Reinsdorf or Krause, whoever it was for the Bulls that they were celebrating. His wife was in attendance, and they were not booing his wife, even though Shannon got on Nightcap and said they was booing his wife. They were booing him. His wife just so happened to be there. Now, I done seen Shannon say a lot of things about what fans can and cannot do. I ain't never heard him one time say fans should not be allowed to boo. As a matter of fact, I done seen him multiple times say they pay tickets they pay the price of a ticket so they can cheer and boo. For him to turn this situation into they was booing the wife, which he know they were not doing, and to try to now say that it's a problem with them booing this dude, that's crazy to me. But it gets crazier because then he would not have done this for nobody else. He did this because of the Jordan LeBron argument. He then began to say Jordan needed Jerry Krause or whoever the fuck put together the team because we see how Jordan put together the Bobcats and the Hornets over the last couple years. Now, please explain to me what the fuck Jordan's playing days have to do with him as a GM owner. How did that make any fucking sense? Now, somebody who is a LeBron fan or just a dipshit ass sports fan will hear Shannon say something like that and they'll agree. But I'm here to tell you, that is a moronic take. That is a doofus goofball take. That take makes no sense. The only reason somebody would use a stupid ass take like that to try to discredit Jordan is if you are a LeBron dick guzzling ass motherfucker, because that shit didn't make no sense to bring up, bro. Like, Jordan, the player, knew who he needed around him. Jordan is not building a Hornets team as if he have a Michael Jordan on the floor. So I'm confused I'm confused by the correlation regardless of Michael Jordan the player, Michael Jordan the owner. I don't understand how those two correlate. I don't understand how you try to use that to say that MJ's career, to try to use that as a deterrent to MJ's legacy. Bro, that's like grasping for straws at this point. On top of that, tonight as I was watching Nightcap, because I turned it off early tonight, Buddy said that this was karma for the Cowboys losing to Mike McCarthy because of how he did Kellen Moore. Bro, motherfuckers get fired in the NFL every year. Every year. What Kellen Moore's accolade, we done seen many of better offensive coordinators get fired, whether it be at an offensive coordinator position or a head coaching position. What has Kellen Moore done to make me think Mike McCarthy is such a bad person for firing him? But I don't understand how that correlates to them losing. Because he said you got to treat people good, and how Kellen Moore was done by Mike McCarthy, that was karma. How? Not to mention, he said that the Cowboys looked worse in these with McCarthy than they did at any time under Moore. That's just not true. But because Shannon got a loud ass mouth, he talk real loud, he real stern when he wrong, people gonna get on and ride that shit. And I just don't agree with it. Because to me, that bro, that's what I'm saying when I say I got a problem with the media. Both of those points is just fucking stupid. And not needed to be said. Not needed to be stated. They have no place. They should have no place in a sports conversation, because neither of those 2 points make any fucking sense. If Kellen Moore had got fired and Mike McCarthy's offense looked like dog water, you got me. That's not how this offense done looked all year. And I think it's very funny that the first thing people wanted to do when the Dallas Cowboys lost was start to say McCarthy, McCarthy, McCarthy. But I got a question. What the fuck is Mike McCarthy supposed to do when Dak Prescott go out there and play the way he played and the defense do what they do? Because you give Dan Quinn a lot of credit for that defense. I never see y'all give Mike McCarthy credit for the defense. But now that the defense play like shit, you blaming it on Mike McCarthy? This is what I'm saying, man. This is my problem with the sports media, bro. The sports media is absolutely god-awful. It's god-awful. You looking for somebody to blame. And I'm going to get to this Cowboys game in a minute. But to throw it on Mike McCarthy because that's the easy thing to do, I'm at a loss. But we are here to break down Super Wild Card weekend. We had some upsets. We had some shockers. Might as well start with the game that I just got done watching. The Los Angeles Rams lose to the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Detroit only scored 3 fucking points in the second half of this game. The Rams, I think, scored 6 or 9. Either way, I was very irritated at the end of this game. You know, I don't use calls to to me, calls don't make or break a game, and this call did not make or break this game, even though it happened at a terrible spot. The referees in this game chose not to call pass interference on the Lions on blatant pass interferences like 3 different times. The last one that they did not call cost the Rams that drive. But 3 different pass interference calls that was blatant pass interference calls did not get called. That was shocking to me because I'm like, bro, you missed 2 blatant calls. Why would you miss this third one? Sometimes I feel like the referees get into this mode where they feel like they screwing one team or calling too much on one team, so they will hold their whistle. Puka Nacua got held all the way down the field on his route. Was pulled when he was trying to go up and catch it. They called nothing. And then on another route when Puka got, they said one of the DBs was going up for the ball, but I understand him being able to go for the ball, but the dude who defended Puka is clearly interfering with him being able to catch this pass. So I don't understand what a pass interference is anymore. Because those was blatant pass interferences that you think them wasn't bang bang plays. Those were pass interferences, but that's not why the Rams lost this game. The Rams lost this fucking game because in the Reds, you look at how this game started. Neither team was punting the ball. Both teams scored on every drive in the first half. It was very clear that one of these defenses was going to have to get the stop that mattered. Well, little did you know, the Rams actually got every stop they needed in the second half of this game. The Rams offense just did not convert when they got into the red zone. Every drive looked good. All the way up the field, the drive looked good. Then they got to the red zone and forgot how to score the ball. No running with Kyron Williams. They ran the same basic ass routes that they try to run that Detroit was already ready for. And this is my problem with the Rams. Because Detroit's not a good defense. I done said that multiple times this year. I don't care who they done played against that made them stats look decent. Detroit's not a good defense. And so my problem when you get to that red zone and you become, they know what you're going to do. You're throwing it to Coop or you're going to throw. I do think they need to go get her. Tyler Higbee took a tough hit in this game. I'm not even finna waste my time talking about the hit. Go watch the hit and you determine if you like the hit or not. I don't like the hit. And I know there's going to be people who be like, oh, well, you can't hit him low. You can't hit him high. Listen, bro. It's easy for motherfuckers who don't have to go out there and play to continuously bitch about the safety rules and shit like that. Oh, you're making football soft. Bro, nobody is forcing y'all to watch this shit. If it's so soft, stop watching. Okay? At the end of the day, the NFL does not want to get sued again for players being unsafe or for players dealing with injuries well after their careers is over. So this is how you fix it. You have to make the game even more safe. Now, on that Tyler Higbee play, at the end of the day, I don't feel like the dude should have went low. I don't think he had to go low. You got a whole torso that you can tackle. I think the real problem is motherfuckers don't know how to tackle no more. People not teaching people to tackle no more. People telling you to run right through a dude rather than tackle somebody. And that's why you get this, you got suicide bombers just throwing their bodies at people, not caring what happened to them. I think I don't really know what to think, as far as a word specifically, but I don't like it. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's, good for the game, but you know, people gonna bitch and be like, well, you can't tackle high, you can't tackle low. So, you know, it is what it is. Motherfuckers. If it ain't your child out there, your husband, your cousin, brother, something like that, you don't care. I understand how the fans are. I got a dude who I follow on Twitter running around from account to account like Richard Sherman, trying to defend this shit. So, mind you, nobody done said it was an illegal hit. People just keep saying they don't like the hit. Nonetheless, I like Matthew Stafford. Do I trust Matt? No. But I like him. I do feel as though I understand the talent that Matt Stafford got with the arm and all this. But I really believe that Matthew Stafford kills himself because of how zoned in he will get on a certain player. Like, go look at this game. It was plays made by other players, yes. The majority of this offense for the Rams was Puka Nacua. And when Kyron was able to run, but for the most part, it was Puka Nacua. And I understand Coop is hurt right now, but to me, if the Rams want to get to the next level again, at some point in time, Matthew Stafford going to have to be able to run a great offense that don't require him throwing it to one dude like 40 fucking times. Like, one of the problems when you lock in on one guy all the time is when you get to the red zone, you're not seeing everything. And Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. He see the field just fine, but he's still a motherfucker that'll throw you the ball in a heartbeat. And listen, Matthew Stafford can be a good quarterback and still have flaws. That's why it was weird to me when people didn't think he had nothing to do with the Detroit struggles. Look at Matthew Stafford in this red zone. Look at something, and it's on Sean McVay too. You know I love Sean McVay, but you got to have better play calls. Now, in a sense, to me, you remember when I told you that Matt LaFleur couldn't coach the way he wanted to because he had Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is going to always supersede certain things and certain ideas. Well, that's kind of what you got with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Stafford going to see certain things. He's going to want to do certain things. He's going to supersede McVay's opinions. But McVay have to realize, I do got a quarterback that gets zoned in on one guy a little too much. And I understand we moved the ball real good tonight. This is one of them rare cases where we was able to move the ball, but it was also against Detroit, who's got a terrible secondary. The way that the Rams played tonight would have lost them this game against most teams, and it lost them this game tonight. To me, when you get to the red zone, Puka Nacua cannot just become invisible, meaning your offense become invisible. If you rely that heavily on one guy, you have a problem, specifically because you have Higbee, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. Like, you have other weapons. So, in my opinion, until Matthew Stafford get out of this thing of he got that his favorite target is going to get the ball thrown to him like 50 fucking times, I don't know, man. The thing that killed the Rams was not being able to score in the red zone. When you get to the red zone that many times and you settle for a field goal, that's a problem. Especially when the line, not even that the Lions was scoring touchdowns, but the Lions were scoring touchdowns and your defense got stops in the second half to get you the lead. And you just kept wasting it. So I understand a lot of people, if you're a Rams fan, you're going to be mad about those no calls by the referee. And those was bad no calls, but you didn't lose the game because of no calls. You lost this game because of the inefficiencies in the red zone. Point blank period. You can't. And you want to know what was bad? They got to the red zone, and then the offense just completely looked like it forgot how to be offense. Like, it looked great getting into the offense, to the red zone. It got to the red zone and looked terrible. So, you know, congratulations to Jared Goff moving on. The Detroit Lions will play another home playoff game because the Dallas Cowboys lost. Now, I'm excited about this one. Now, I could care less that Dallas lost. I don't care about that. Actually, I do. I'm happy that Cowboy fans is real hurt right now, and I'll get to y'all in a minute. I don't care that Dallas lost. No, I'm not even shocked that Dallas lost because remember, I said I'll pick Dallas, but I don't want to pick Dallas because I actually like Jordan. It's always going to be hard for me to pick a team when I think the better quarterback play for the opposing team. I told you, Jordan Love is the better quarterback. Now, before I start praising my boy, it is some things I do want to talk about real quick. Jordan Love make a lot of spectacular throws. Throw a lot of off his back foot, fading away to the side, leaning forward, a lot of erratic movement type throws. And as great as those are, he cannot make that the norm. Like, he played a game at a real cool, calm, and collected pace. Like, I know I got the arm talent, but there will come a time where those is interceptions. When you, as great as your arm talent is, still not stepping into throws and things like that on a normal basis can still get you beat and get you picked off. So that's my only thing with Jordan Love. I don't want him to make a living out of just expecting every single one of these off-balance throws to be the way you win games. You still want the offense to be able to play in a rhythm. Now we can get to the Cowboys. Listen, I told you in the last show, everybody picking the Cowboys, but there is 100% a route to where the Cowboys lose this game. And it wasn't a tough route. But if you watch the Packers can put together a good enough defensive performance. I understand how bad that secondary done been this year. They can put together a good enough game to win this game. Dak Prescott to me is not Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. Like, he not one of them quarterbacks, in my opinion, that it's a guarantee every time he step on the field that he gonna outplay the opposing team's defense. That's not a thing. And I understand every quarterback gonna have an off game. Dak Prescott is not the quarterback, though, who I'm thinking to myself, yeah, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, Dak Prescott gonna give his team, he gonna outperform this defense. And there's no way this defense can, is gonna have their best game against Dak. I just don't think like that. Because to me, Dak is a good quarterback, but he not on the level of them dudes. Plus, I said it at the end of that last year, bro. What more can Dallas do to help Dak? Now, some people going to say, oh, well, look at how bad the defense is. And I'm going to say, look at how good they were last year in the playoffs. Look at how good they were the year before that. So you can't use the defense played bad. That's why Dak lost. The defense played bad and the offense wasn't scoring no points unless I know you Dallas fans like because the score ended up being 48-32. This was big, bro. It was 40-something to 16 at one point in this game, bro. This was not a competitive game at all. All the stats and the yards and the touchdown accumulations, that was garbage yardage for Dak. This game was damn near over at the half. Matter of fact, yeah, the game was basically over at the halftime. Dallas scored 5 more points in the game than Green Bay had at the half. And Green Bay scored damn near every single time they had. Every time Dallas got off the field when the game mattered, Green Bay went right back down the field and scored. I told you, it's a different offense for Green Bay when you have a healthy Aaron Jones, a healthy Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur. That changes things. He haven't had a healthy Aaron Gordon all year. The only game he had him in really was that first game of the season, and look how great he played in that game. Now, I told you, I don't think that the Packers have a number 1 receiver, but they have a damn great receiving core. All these young dudes is growing with Jordan Love. It really look crazy now when you think about the fact Devontae Adams wanted out. That's telling me, I know Devontae a great player, and so you don't have time to be looking at other guys when you're there, but he must not pay no attention whatsoever to Jordan Love. Like, none whatsoever. If I was Jordan Love, Devontae Adams could never say nothing positive to me. Like, we could be cordial, but we could never be friends, bro. You literally ran away from, you requested a trade. You forced your way out of I keep wanting to say Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is what's flowing around my head. Green Bay, because you didn't think you had a chance to win because I was a rookie quarterback. You haven't been winning with Aaron Rodgers. And not only that, you chose to go play with Derek Carr, a dude who was less successful than Aaron Rodgers. How did that make any type of sense? Not to mention, Aaron Rodgers was still in fucking Green Bay. If I was Jordan Love, me and Devontae could never be cool. I'm just keeping a buck with you, bro. We could never be cool. We could never be cool. Now, Green Bay's defense got cooked. I see people online talking about Bland, Gilmore. Micah Parsons had like his worst performance in a season, in a game. And these type of things happen when you're playing against a superior quarterback. Life comes at you pretty fast when you're playing against a superior quarterback that you didn't look at as a superior quarterback. Because I'm almost certain that the Dallas defense, those big dogs on that defense, didn't come into this game thinking that they was playing against a top-tier quarterback. Rightfully so. They don't actually sit down and watch these games. They play in them. I knew what they was going. That's why I kept saying I don't think that Dak is the better quarterback in this game. And I understand what the media think and what's supposed to happen. But when I'm looking at this game, listen, man, the one thing about me, I'm going to always rock with the better quarterback. I'm going to always get that nod to him at least. And I just felt like through watching watching the film, Dak is not better than Jordan Love. And I don't think Dak can do what Jordan Love can do with his arm. What Jordan Love can sling that shit. And he can do it so effortlessly. That's why they call up different type of play. Look at how much they attack down the field with Jordan Love. That's a vertical offense. They are not running too many plays horizontally. They are going up and down the field vertically because they got a great running back, a great quarterback, a great head coach. And I'm telling you, let them figure out the receiving position. Because I'm at the point where I don't even care about the tight end. They got enough good receivers over there to where this could become one of them situations more like Cincinnati, where you don't really need a tight end because you got so many talented receivers. Dobbs, Wick, Watson when he healthy. I just think the Packers offense, they always been getting better and better. They couldn't get to where they wanted to get to because Aaron Jones been hurt most of the season. And now that they are healthy, you see Matt LaFleur just putting it all together. And this is why I had a problem with people taking shots at Matt LaFleur for the past couple years. Because if you watch the Packers, bro, if you watch the Packers and you thought that Matt LaFleur was just good because of Aaron Rodgers, I think that's crazy. It's almost like people forget that the Packers was going through a little lull before LaFleur got there. He revamped that offense. My problem was always, man, if he could do this with the offense, with the control that he have, what could he do if he didn't have Aaron Rodgers? See, I never got stuck in that situation of, well, you know, he only good because he got Aaron Rodgers. I think when that's the first way you look at something, that's tough. Like, I understand that might be the case for certain things, but that cannot be your first opinion. Like, oh, he only good because of Aaron Rodgers. You got to actually look at these games and try to because everybody's not going to be able to break down what a head coach provide to a team. I get that, but it can't be as simple as, oh, he good because of Aaron Rodgers, he bad because he ain't got Aaron. It can't be that simple. Look at Chicago and look at how they done developed the quarterback and look at how the quarterback done developed. Night and day compared to Green Bay. And I don't hear people, mind you, people wasn't yelling and screaming, oh, Jordan Love need more help when he was struggling. They was yelling he trash. But you wanted to baby and coddle the guy over there in Chicago. And like I said in the beginning of the season, the one in Green Bay is already better than the player in Chicago. See, that's why they getting rid of him, because the Bears see what I see. They see what everybody see now. Jordan Love, even though I saw it the first game of the season and before the game even happened, Jordan Love is already better in 1 year of starting than Justin Fields. Jordan Love didn't even get to start his first couple years like Justin Fields. One of them is already the better player. One of them already took his team to a playoff. One of them already done had won a playoff game against a higher seed. I mean, it's the 7th seeded Packers, bro. They barely got in. That's all I was hearing. I saw everybody picking Dallas. And one of my biggest irritations was the only people who was really picking the Packers was Packer fans or the Packer former players. I didn't see nobody really try to break down this game. I didn't see nobody trying to give the Packers a chance. And that was my problem. That's why I said on the prediction show, like, I see everybody picking Dallas, but there is a way for the Packers to win this game. To me, to think that there was no way they could win this game was disrespectful to Matt LaFleur, because I think Matt LaFleur a better head coach than Mike McCarthy. I like Mike McCarthy, but to me, he don't do for an offense what. Try not to disrespect McCarthy, because I think Mike McCarthy a damn good coach. But what I've seen from Matt LaFleur, and maybe I'm just biased, bro, because I really like Matt LaFleur, but Matt LaFleur is the better coach in my opinion, which is why I didn't have no problem rocking with the Packers, bro, because just look, you know what they remind me of? McVay when he got to L.A. Just a fresh turning the organization around, taking them into a new era. That's exactly what LaFleur is doing. And people thought that his best days was behind him because he didn't have Aaron Rodgers. Listen. Don't underestimate great coaching, man. Don't underestimate great. And then I'm going to tell you what else this shows me. Teams got to be better in that hiring process, man. Listen, I think Rob Saleh is a decent head coach. All I know is he did not himself or with the people around him develop Zach Wilson good enough. All I know is it's multiple young quarterbacks, whether it be because the quarterback or the organization. All I know is Matt LaFleur is not special in the sense that he the only head coach that know how to develop a quarterback. He the only Jordan Love ain't special in the sense that he the only quarterback who can take teaching. Like, this is not an exclusive thing to the Packers. Other teams should be able to develop a quarterback, should be able to draft and get the quarterback to the. So I think it's embarrassing when you look at some of these other teams and see how bad the quarterback development done gone. New England, like, and I'm seeing people say that New England, Bill Belichick could get this job in Dallas. For one, if Mike McCarthy loses his job, I think that'd be crazy. Like, the standard in Dallas cannot be Super Bowl when you haven't won a Super Bowl in damn near 2, 3, 4 decades. So for that to still be the standard is wild. 2, Mike McCarthy done had 3 12-win seasons in a row. I understand he 1-3 in the playoffs. But do Dan Quinn not get any type of blame for the shit that just transpired? Because every time Eric Bieniemy coached up a team that had a bad offensive performance, you put it on Eric Bieniemy. Is that what we're going to do with Dan Campbell? I mean, with, I done forgot my man's name is that what we're doing with Dan and the defense of the Dallas Cowboys? Because I done forgot the man's name. It's because I don't understand how Mike McCarthy getting blamed for this defense. And then when I look at this offense, what Mike McCarthy supposed to do with Dak throwing a pick six, staring down the receiver? What he supposed to do with 2 interceptions? Like, at some point in time, Dak Prescott got to be better. I said it last year. What more can you do for Dak? You gave him an offensive line. You gave him a running game. And I understand they didn't run the ball as good as they done ran it in past years. That's not on Mike McCarthy. That's on whoever the fuck decided to get rid of Ezekiel Elliott and not replace him, thinking that Tony Pollard was an every down back. That's not a Mike McCarthy problem. At the end of the day, Dak Prescott, if he just plays better, it's different outcomes. I don't understand how we look at these Cowboy games and come away from it thinking Mike McCarthy was severely outcoached and he's a bad hit. No, bruh. The defense looked like shit. That's on the defensive coach. And Dak Prescott is not doing what you need a franchise quarterback to do in these games. Point blank, period. So I don't know how you keep blaming everybody but Dak. But like I said last year, if Dak just fucking played better, we wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation right now. We wouldn't. But I'm going to let them on TV kill Dallas. I'm not really here to kill Dallas. I don't care about killing Dallas. What I will say to Dallas fans, though, is how much do them Dak Prescott stats matter now? All those gaudy stats he put up against the Commanders, the Giants, and them sorry-ass teams you get to play in the NFC, what do they mean now? Like I said, when Dak or them Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, play against great competition, a great quarterback, great coaching, they shrink, they fold. And that continued to be proven right. And speaking of a Tua, we hopped to that Saturday game. People was mad that Peacock had the game. Not me. I done had Peacock for the longest, so. Either way. Hey, give me a second. People was mad about that Peacock having why people not get mad when the real problems occur, like when NFL Network got exclusive games. Like, who the fuck is watching NFL Network? But I digress. The Dolphins looked like shit last night. Riddle me shocked. Listen. The one good team they beat was a team that don't beat good teams. In the Dallas Cowboys. So, you know, to say I'm shocked would be a lie. I told you going into this game, I did not see any way that the Dolphins win this game. I just don't. They didn't have any pass rushes on the field. They don't play good against good teams or great quarterbacks. Tua Tagovailoa, once again, when you play against a defense that can force a quarterback to have to get off of his first option, his second option, and make you make plays, that's when Tua is going to struggle. Tua is not a quarterback who can play above the X's and O's. He has not shown you that. He done shown you I play best when you give me a great script and great weapons around me. Which brings up a bigger problem. If you pay Tua, eventually you gonna lie and say you can't afford to pay the dudes around him. So why pay Tua? Because you know Tua not gonna be the same player without that talent around him. The Dolphins done put themselves in an interesting situation because we know it's the talent around Tua, but hell, even when he got some of the talent around him or when the talent is around him, he still don't rise above the level of competition that these are. Because I can point to every big game they done won against top tier teams in the past, and I can usually show you Tyreek and Jalen Waddle having big games or the running back having big games. Mike McDaniels calling a great game. Stats is really the problem as to why some of y'all can't, or why the media don't watch these teams the way they should, why the media got a week-to-week type of opinion on teams. But if you just watch the games, this is why I'm not fascinated with the stats, because when I think about a Tua Tagovailoa, for example, I mean, Tua will probably be putting up 300 passing yards on a regular basis. With the way the offense is ran, with the weapons he got, it's not hard for him to go in there and put up. Really, the shame or the shock is when he put up less than those gaudy numbers. But then you look at him when they play against tough teams, real competition and whatnot. So to me, Miami, like I said, it looked like they lost something every single game this season after that 70-point game. Miami going to have to figure out a way to where Miami ain't going to figure out shit. Miami not winning shit with Tua. I'm just going to be honest with you. I said the same shit last year with Dak. I'm telling you the same shit right here. If Tua don't change something in his game, much like I said about Dak, they will not end up winning a Super Bowl because it is just too hard. For Tua specifically, it's too hard to get to a Super Bowl in the AFC with all those quarterbacks. For Dak, I'm just under the belief that anytime one of them sorry-ass NFC teams come out of the NFC without being truly tested, they'll get slapped in the Super Bowl by an AFC team regardless. However, Dak is better than Tua because Dak can go above the X's and O's at times. I think the biggest thing is he just got a better arm than Tua. It's not like Dak got the strongest arm in the world, but he got a far better arm, in my opinion, than Tua. Tua can't really throw through. Like, if the wind going heavy, you can't expect Tua to cut through the wind with some of his passes. And that's a problem. But also, the biggest problem with Tua to me is not even his arm. It's his decision making. Not even just the decision making. It's the lack thereof decision making. The game done become so simplified for him that when it's time for it to become complex and it's a new math introduced, he don't know what to do. He don't even, the overthrows, the throws off, the throws in the dirt, the bad sacks being taken. Like, Miami and Dallas's offense spent all year being top offenses just for one game to look like shit. This is why I said earlier in the season, I'm getting sick and tired of people telling me that the Ravens don't put up enough points when they average 30 plus a game. The Ravens are playing real competition, having to figure out how to beat these teams on a weekly basis. Dallas and the Dolphins are not playing against the same level of competition. That's why they're able to wax these teams that they playing. And that ended up being proven correct. So it would be easy for me to get on here and tell you all the different type of things that Dallas could do right. Obviously, Dallas's defense looked god-awful in this game. It'd be easy for me to... I do think DeMarcus Lawrence is probably coming to the end of his time in Dallas. But when you look at the Dolphins, they had a lot of injuries. Every passer. And this might be a more competitive game if the pass rushers for the Dolphins aren't all hurt. But Dallas... for Miami. But Miami went out there and put up 7 points, bro. You spend all year putting up gaudy stats just to put up 7 fucking points in the playoffs. You know? And shout out to my guy, Pat Mahomes. Playoff Mahomes is back. Playoff. Hey, I saw them. Somebody said they doing a swag surfing, and this woman on Twitter said, "Nah, that's the white water rafting." That shit was hilarious. But before I get to this Cleveland-Houston game, I want to talk about something that my guy Gianni talked about in the comment section, because I was going to talk about it this episode. I was actually going to talk about it last episode, but I said, nah, I ain't going to talk about it yet. So, you know, the Ravens, two coaches, positional coaches, like the offense, Todd Monken and Mike McDaniel are both up for coaching jobs from other teams. And, you know, Gianni wanted to know why would they take those opportunities? Why not stay with the Ravens and build something special? Well, it's a two-part question. Well, it's a two-part answer. Because I understand why they would take these jobs. Because head coaching jobs don't come around every day. It's a bigger pay grade. Like, it's up. You get more money. Like, I would even take that opportunity to become a coach, get fired that 1 year, because I know the guaranteed money that I'm getting after that is still going to be very good. That's the reason you take the job. However, and maybe it's my biasness running through me because I'm a Raven fan, so I don't want to see two great coordinators leave. However, I would not understand Todd Monken leaving to go take a head coaching job right now. I would understand it for Mike McDaniel, even though I wouldn't like it. You see, Mike McDaniel's defense was not this good last year. It's great this year. However, as much as I can say, oh, scheme, go watch a Ravens game. It ain't just the scheme. It's the players. The Ravens have a lot of great coached players. They have, and that's the thing. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from them. These is clearly coached up players. But look at the talent that allows you saw how different his defense became when he got a Roquan. When Kyle Hamilton became an All-Pro. When you put Roquan beside Patrick Queen. These are things that I don't think Mike McDaniel changed. These are just things that the players changed. Marlon Humphreys being healthy. What do Mike McDaniel's got to do with that? Roquan being a generational talent. What Mike McDaniel's got to do with that? And I'm not taking nothing away from Mike McDaniel's, but what I'm saying is, I do understand why he would get a job because of what the defense has done this year. But when I look at the defense, I have to say, what's the scheme and what's the players? And as much as I love the scheme for McDaniels, I don't think the scheme is out coaching the talent that you have on the team. Like, some defenses, okay, example. If the perfect example, as a matter of fact. If the Rams went out there and had a great defensive performance, you give all the credit to the defensive coordinator. You just coach the fuck out of your players in this game. Now, I know some people want to use the Packers because of how bad their defense done been this year, but the Packers got a lot of good players on that defense. But if you want to use the Packers as an example, you can, even though they do have a lot of good players on their defense. When you look at certain defenses, though, like, say, a San Francisco, that's got so many big name players on it, you don't really think to yourself, oh, well, it's the coaching, because they done ran through coaches on the defensive side of the ball and they remain great. It's players. Once you players get to a certain point, once they done been together for a certain point, you just expect players, yeah, they could be coached, but you expect them to be the coaches on the field. And you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's a little bit different. Also, with the Mike McDaniels part is, I don't really understand teams still hiring defensive coordinators as their head coaches. I don't understand that. So as much as I like Mike McDaniel, who exactly is trying to hire him? Like, why, if I'm Mike, I understand why he would take the Carolina job because of Bryce. I understand why he would take the Charger job because of Herbert. Any other job outside of that, why? I would even say to the Raiders job. I understand people liking that Raider job, but they still don't have a fucking quarterback with no shot at, no clear vision as to how to get one. So that would be my thing with Mike McDaniel. My pushback is, as much as I think he is a good coach, you got two, like, players that are just generational talents on the defensive side of the ball. And you got other big time players who having great years. And I'm not going to tell you that the coaching is not putting them in great position. But what I'm telling you is at some point in time, coaching and position don't matter. The players got to make plays. And that's exactly what the Ravens is doing. Next, Todd Monken. This is the one that actually irritated the fuck out of me. I wasn't even going to say it, but Gianni brought it up. And so now I got to say it. I don't care about the Mike McDonald one. To me, if you want to hire a defensive coordinator as your head coach, have at it. The Todd Monken one bothers me because how much of it is Todd and how much it is, okay, you just got Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm not telling you only good because of Lamar, but what I am telling you is how much of that success is predicated on Lamar Jackson still being as generational as he is. That's the problem I have with certain coordinators because I do think Todd is a good offensive coordinator, but I also think Todd came into the Ravens at the perfect time. They wanted to change from a run first team to a team not even necessarily wanted to stop being run first. They wanted somebody who could open the pass game, bring in pass concepts for the receivers and yada, yada, yada. Todd Monken giving Lamar Jackson the power at the line of scrimmage was going to happen regardless. At some point in time, somebody was going to have to give him the control at the line of scrimmage or this marriage wasn't going to work out. So I'm not really big on that. I'm more so happy that Todd Monken helped the others. However, I agree with Gianni. Why not stay and build upon this? Why immediately try to run? See, I'm not going to say I don't like, but I'm not a fan of Josh McDaniels. I think he's a bad head coach. I think he was a bad OC. The credit to him is he wasn't quick to try to go get another job. Now, granted, he did have a head coaching job at one point in time. But look at Dan Quinn, when he got fired as a head coach. Both of these dudes took their time to find another head coaching opportunity. I don't quite understand why Todd Monken would be so ready to leave Baltimore. I don't like taking interviews and shit like that while the playoffs is going on anyways, because I think it's no way you can convince me you 100% focused when you already done took a head coaching job. Because if you was all the way locked in, you don't even think about the next coaching job you finna take before the job is done. So I'm not happy about that regardless anyways. Like, I don't think you should be taking head coaching opportunities or meetings before the fucking playoffs is over. Now, I know some people are like, well, Saint, other people could take that job before. So fucking what? They done lost. They right there for a reason. If you as good as people think you are, that job's still going to be sitting there for you when the playoffs is done. All you can do is strengthen your resume with how your team or your unit performs in the playoffs. So, not to mention, if Todd Monken is as great OC, and I'm not trying to shit on Todd, why wasn't he up for a head coaching job last year? See, this can't be he saved Lamar Jackson. Lamar didn't need saving. I was going to say something. The scheme around Lamar Jackson needed saving. Lamar Jackson done come in every year and improved on something in his game. Everybody around him was not on that same wavelength. So I give Todd Monken that type of credit. However, I don't understand jumping ship this early. I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with Gianni. I don't understand jumping ship. And for this one, Gianni, I have no answer. Other than he just want to be a head coach because he older and he want that paycheck. But I don't understand immediately after 1 year with Lamar Jackson. Oh, yeah, let me go be a head coach. But that's what great players allow. Ray Lewis got a lot of dudes hired as head coaches. Lamar Jackson might get this dude hired as a head coach very quick. So I really do feel like at some point in time, like, it's nothing the Ravens can do to keep these dudes on longer. You know, you're not going to be paying them crazy type of money to be coordinators just to stay longer. But in my opinion, at some point, because I think the one that'll be more likely to get the job is Todd Monken, because offense matters more. Unless people really sit back and say, I mean, he got Lamar Jackson, bro. How great is that offense without Lamar? Because we don't have a Lamar Jackson. So all these different type of things in this playbook that might not have worked, but they work because of Lamar, we got to think about that. The plays that work, but only work because of Lamar, we got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you hire McDaniels, if you hire Mike McDonald, to me, you already done made up a decision. You want a defensive-minded guy. You think he gonna change the culture, yada, yada, yada. Because that's really why you hire defensive-minded guys. You hire an offensive guy to get this fucking offense going, to take you into another generation of football, in my opinion. I think defensive coordinators who get hired as coaches basically keep you what you are, just make you more hard-nosed and tough. Offensive guys take you to that next generation of football. They turn the page for you, in my opinion. But I'm going to be honest with you, Gianni. I'm going to be a little irritated if this motherfucker Todd Monken end up elsewhere. I'm going to tell you what's funny. I wasn't happy with the hire to start off the season, and now I'm going to be pissed off if he leave. What does that say about me? Anyways, Cleveland, the last game of Wild Card Weekend, which coincidentally was the first game of Wild Card Weekend. C.J. Stroud and the Texans were at home taking on the Cleveland Browns, and I told you, this is why I switched that pick to the Texans pick, because Texans being at home completely mattered to me. That changed everything for me. C.J. Stroud was not going to be playing his first playoff game in noise. He didn't have to worry about a crowd environment. He was get to play at home, sleeping in his bed. I just thought that was going to be different. Plus, I kept telling y'all, I love Flacco as much as the next person. Motherfucker had 8 interceptions over the last 4 games, bro. That's got to mean something. When somebody turning the ball over at that rate, that's crazy. That's crazy for me, not for people to ignore it. People was just like glossing over it like that didn't mean nothing. I'm like, come on, bro. 8 interceptions, and he go ahead and follow that up with 2 more pick sixes back to back in this game for Joe Flacco. It makes sense. I literally eyeballed the dude down on the second pick six. The first pick six, I guess they said he was trying to throw it out of bounds. I think he should have just ate that ball and took the sack. Those 2 pick sixes basically took you out the game. And on top of that, the Browns defense, they returned. I've been hearing how great they was all season. But you know, for the last couple years on here, I tell you, the Browns defense do one thing every game. And no, at least twice a game. They just give up an inexplicable bad play where the cornerbacks, the linebacker, everybody forget how to play football. And they allow the opposing team to just go over the top for some ridiculous yardage play. Well, they did that shit 3 times or 2 times in this game. And once I saw that, I said to myself, that's the old Browns that I know and love. So I wasn't shocked. Now, you know, this little fairy tale that the Browns was living on, yeah, I'm glad that shit's over. Because if you really look at the Browns, for one, I was getting real irritated with how great people kept talking about their defense was. I understand the Browns don't play some teams, but look at the end of the season for them and who they had to play, the quarterbacks that they played against. Not the same. So, listen. I got no ill will in my heart for Cleveland. You're not good enough for me to hate you. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a lot of Raven fans that's saying Joe Flacco threw the game for us on purpose. I'm too intelligent to think like that. I don't give Cleveland Cleveland not good enough to be throwing games. Cleveland just fucking sucks. I don't know why this conversation of Cleveland going to the Super Bowl ever got started. I think it's very funny how a white dude can do something and people get just go head over heels and take it too far. Joe Flacco, if you really look, I mean, listen, you know, y'all like to say this gunslinger. All I see is when I see gunslinger is a white dude who throw a lot of interceptions but got a strong arm. Jay Cutler, Brett Favre, Matthew Stafford, you know, that's what I think about when I think of a gunslinger. So, you know, if you want to say Joe was a gunslinger in this last iteration of his career, sure. I know what it do. It help you out with the Deshaun Watson. You ain't got to make no decision there now, huh? But hey, you might as well keep Joe Flacco on call. Just in case Deshaun Watson decide not to play half the fucking season again next year. I think that's the worst part about this for Cleveland. But no, actually, I think this is the best part about this for Cleveland. You don't even have to think about what you do with Deshaun Watson. You go into next season knowing already, oh, well, we got to deal with Deshaun Watson. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm tired. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It's been a long day. So we're going to end the show tonight. It's not early because we still got in an hour. But I will be back tomorrow. And the show will be far better tomorrow. I promise you. We're going to recap these games once again tomorrow. But I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share. We are growing. And I appreciate y'all for that. Like, subscribe, share. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty ran track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.